Why? Why? I have one question. Why does every preparedness channel have a stomp, clap, country music intro with shooting compilations that suck? Why is this almost 90% of prepping videos? I don't get it. It's cringe, bro. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I've had to sift through thousands of videos of that. And I mean, is there an enclave somewhere of people that's attractive to? I love shooting. I love preparedness. I think it's incredible. I think it's a gift from God. But it's always just middle-aged guys with shitty country music. I don't know. Just seems very out of touch. I think a lot of people think it's cringe. I think a lot of Gen Zers, of which I am a part of, just it's very out of touch. I don't get it. I long for more transparent preparedness videos where it's less ad break, less top 10 lists, and more of just people trying to figure out how to even get into preparedness. It is like drinking water of a fire hydrant. When I first got into it, right around COVID, I was confused. I didn't really know how to even start. It's kind of a taboo subject at the time. You kind of looked at as like schizoid, and it's very, very taboo to me. But thankfully, I think the world's cultural climate, geopolitically, socially, has kind of normalized people asking the question, what do I do about the future? Lots of families, lots of communities just trying to stumble their way through, just surviving. Lifestyle is, it's hard to balance. It's hard to keep up with our culture in America. It's very crippling. There's lots of nefarious players out there who are trying to slowly degrade our country, and I think our communities and our friends and our families need to take seriously the idea that no one's really going to be there to save you. Loss of faith in institutions has become more prevalent. Clearly, I mean, they've shown not a lot of reasons to give them faith. So how do we do that? How do we, as American citizens, become more prepared in a realistic sense? I have a lot of friends. I'm in my 20s, and I have a lot of friends who are, late 20s, early 30s. And I'll try to send them videos, maybe some small videos about like, hey, I know you're in an apartment. Can you please just put away a couple cans of food, some water? Just trying to, get them to think in that way. And I don't know, it's kind of isolating. I mean, it seems like a lot of Gen Z people or, millennials don't really give a shit about this. And I don't know if that's just like a cultural apathy, like a blanket that's been put on most people. I also think people are struggling a lot more than they lead on. I know that, besides the constant bombardment of consumerism and, the slow creep of inflation, that just socially it's harder to make friends and to, be close to your family. But I think these are things that preparedness kind of helps shift and mold your mind to value. I think it establishes a lot of discipline, a lot of good virtues that we should aspire to, and it gives you some type of control over your life. I mean, right now with the the polarization in our political world and our climate, how do you not think something's going to get worse? I mean, our country is basically becoming, Brazilified. It's not a sudden collapse. It's the slow degradation of your lifestyle, the slow degradation of the types of comforts you're used to. And so how do we prepare for that while moving into it? I think there needs to be more transparency and honesty with a lot of preparedness YouTubers and people online. There's not a roadmap to this stuff. Thankfully, there's a lot more information now that's accessible for people, but it still takes a leap to get into the space. And it's still kind of taboo. I mean, you can kind of be looked at as like a schizo. Like one of my favorite things that I like to think about is a friend of mine who I totally believed was schizoid and all over the fucking place. He would send me these 6-hour-long YouTube videos, and I mean, he was a little schizo. He'd just be like, "Don't trust him, bro." And that's all he would say, and it would always crack me up. But one of the things he did tell me, he told me, "Hey, I think there was a cyber attack on our gas supply lines. Maybe fill up your gas." And I took him seriously. So when he texted me, I filled up my gas. I filled up my company's work vehicle. And the next day, there was a drastic halting of gas in my area, to the point where when I went in to get, a couple white monsters, as a white boy does, there were a lot of people at the pumps who were completely out of gas, and they were asking us for help, seeing if we had any gas to spare because they couldn't get their vehicles back home. I mean, it's as simple as that, honestly. It is as simple as, oh shit, I forgot to do this one thing and now I can't get home. And thankfully, that situation only lasted just a day, maybe day and a half. Was not a big deal. But it would not be crazy for that to expand into something way worse. And that's what got me into preparedness, honestly. That and COVID. COVID freaked me out. Didn't really know what to do. Kind of started taking seriously that maybe our government doesn't have its shit together, as much as we like to think. But again, it's just a slow figuring out of the process. It's a mindset shift, and it's kind of vulnerable. You really have to take seriously the fact that you aren't prepared in a lot of ways. I mean, hell, even now I'm not prepared in a lot of ways, but I'm trying to mitigate those things. I'm trying to work on those things. And I'm trying to encourage a culture of troubleshooting and attempting at figuring things out and just daily trying to be better. So I say all that rant over just to say, us as American citizens, let's get our shit together. Let's try to encourage a culture to where we can have people of all different backgrounds try to be more prepared, try to take seriously their own sovereignty and readiness, and make it less cringe. I mean, There's no reason it needs to be typecast to a certain group of people, or, you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. So, that's it. Let's work on that.